Good Friday, everyone. I'm meteorologist Dave Snyder at the National Weather Service with Alaska's statewide weather. As the evening progresses, low pressure in the western Bering Sea will continue to intensify. We expect that level to drop to 928 millibars. High wind warnings are in effect for the western Aleutians. We expect those to continue into the mid, perhaps late morning across the western chain with wind gusts that could reach over 80 to 90 miles per hour. So far, the maximum sustained gust at Shemya at the air station Erickson has reached upwards of 97 miles per hour as the storm was passing over. The frontal boundary will continue pressing eastward through the central chain, pulling a lot of warm and wet air into the Bering Sea. The storm is expected to continue with high seas and wind as we head into the remainder of the weekend, but focusing mainly on the west and southern sections of the Bering. Overnight, low pressure drops to 928 millibars in the west, but there is another storm to contend with. This low pressure system sitting over Kodiak Island will keep winds churning across south central and parts of Kodiak Island with periods of rain and some higher seas there. Periods of snow are expected across the higher terrain, and there may be a mix of rain and snow across some parts of the Kenai Peninsula that should remain fairly isolated. Pockets of rain across southeastern Alaska and conditions across the interior, the Yukon Valley, the west coast, and most of the North Slope will be fairly dry, though some areas of blowing snow may still be found east of Kaktovik. For Saturday, low pressure in the Bering Sea rises to 943 millibars. While the storm is diminishing in its intensity, it's still a potent Bering Sea storm, and as it sits just north of Kiska, it will continue to wrap in high seas with swells coming in from the southwest, moving northeast toward the Pribilofs. The worst of the weather will still remain out to the west, but the frontal boundary working toward the west coast may bring up the wind across southwestern parts of Alaska as well as the Alaska Peninsula, with periods of rain spreading into Kodiak and Bristol Bay. Expect a better chance for snow the further inland you go. By Sunday, the front presses northward even more, up toward Nome and through McGrath and areas around Dillingham and King Salmon. Behind that, expect a better chance for a rain and snow mix. Rainfall is possible around Nunivak Island, the Pribilofs, and most of the Aleutian chain, as well as the Alaska Peninsula. The front will zip through Kodiak Island with stronger south and westerly winds ahead of it, working its way into the Kenai Peninsula and parts of Prince William Sound. Snowfall starts to move a little bit more into the interior. Places like Galena could see some light snow, as well as more clouds spreading northward toward the western parts of the Brooks Range. With Alaska's statewide weather, I'm meteorologist Dave Snyder. More information's online anytime at weather.gov.